Hi there, my name is Moira McDonald. Thanks very much for joining me today. I've got a custom junk journal to show you. It's for someone who had seen the video of my Art Nouveau Muxa journal that I'd done a while back. So it's very Art Nouveau in its themes. It's made from an envelope, a manila envelope. I gessoed the envelope, went round the edges with gold paint. I think it's called Lumiere, the range I used. Then I decoupaged a napkin onto the front and back. Beyond that, hold on a wee minute to loosen this. I die cut a frame using a Sue Olson die, and then used an image I had bought from Etsy, which I framed up, layered on some French book page, and I've got a variety of European stamps round about, kind of vintage in their age. This is a rosette I made with just paper folding and a wee bling stone on top, again in sort of pink and green because the flowers were red and pink. There's also a wee kind of, I don't know how to describe this, it's just a wee embellishment up the top here. Right, so we'll have a wee quick look through and you can see what you think. They primarily used a digital kit from ArtyMaze for the majority of the printed pages that I've used, but there's a number of other Etsy shops that I've used throughout. I'll try and remember who they were, but bear with me because it's not always the easiest thing to do. Right, I've got on the inside cover a sort of tuck spot type thing with music paper, which I've sewn here at the front, just down the bottom, and there's actually a decoupage napkin on the inside of the cover as well, and a wee kind of crocheted flower here with a little, what's that stuff called? It's a wee polymer clay rose that I moulded. So we've got a tag with a Muxa image and just a pretty lady. And over and above that, what I've actually got here is a watercolour by Rennie MacIntosh, who was a Glasgow Art Nouveau. He wasn't so much he was a painter, but he did a lot of architecture and indeed designed the Glasgow School of Art as well as the Willoterians in Glasgow, which are pretty famous. He's not renowned for his pretty ladies. You'll see a couple of them through the journal and I think you'll know what I mean when you look at them in relation to how Muxa drew women. Right, so we've got one of the ArtyMaze pages here, and on the back I have added some lace down the edge. French book page here, coffee stained page. In terms of coffee staining, every time I do it, I clearly, I'm very impatient and I'm clearly overdoing it. So what I've found has been happening is my paper is very buckled, and as a result, well, not very buckled, but more buckled than I would like to see it. I find it quite difficult to work with when I've done it, you know, to really do. I certainly couldn't print on it, put it like that. So what I've done with this one, and what's worked out an awful lot easier for me, is I just used a spray bottle and sprayed on bits of coffee, and I also left it to dry naturally, which I think is a big help. When you're putting it in the oven, that's what's rushing the process. So just allowing it to dry naturally, doing a couple of sheets at a time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really time consuming, but at the same point I think it gives you a much better finish. Well, it does for me anyway. So it's achieved what I'm looking for from the paper, so I'm quite happy in that respect. Right, we've got a bit of washi down here, and I've done some punching with a Martha Stewart punch. Over here we've got one of the Muxa images which I've framed up and layered on a bit of book page and just a little heart. Again, you can see the coffee staining here. The stainings come out quite prominently, which is a good thing, but it's not caused the amount of wrinkling that I normally get, so I'm quite happy with that. K & Company paper, which I folded over for you to journal on. There is a lot of journaling space in this. This is a handmade paper. I wouldn't try to write on it, it's there purely for texture and decoratively. Another Mucha image, again framed up in a Sue Wilson die, with it's layered on top of some washi tape. This is actually parts of, it was like a postcard size picture, and I die cut some hearts from it so that everything coordinated in with the picture, the image itself. Another Mucha image, and a wee bit of stamping up the top, layered again on book page. Just another book page here. Not sure exactly what that is. Sagita's die that she uses all the time, and I cut away the edge of the page to give it a finish. Here we've got a paper bag which I've split the ends off it and used as a tuck spot, and we've got another Mucha tag that I made. Stamped, I used Tim Holtz, it's one of his, I think it's Wild Honey or something it's called, one of his orange shades to match in with this lady's dress and hair. Used that in the background, then stamped in a kind of crimson colour, then die cut a tonic leaf and attached the lady at the bottom there. I cut round her and used a bit of vintage photo just to edge her. Years ago when I dabbled in digital images, I had Paint Shop Pro, and they used to give you with that, one of the enhancements was a drop shadow, and it was fabulous. It gave your pictures dimension and it really did look good. From what I can see, you don't appear to get drop shadow in any of the packages that are ever sold these days, because I've got Adobe now and it's not in that. But you find that when you cut around an image and you just go around the edge with the likes of vintage photo or maybe the black suit distress ink, it gives it depth when it's on your picture, so that it kind of stands out more, and it's almost like a drop shadow. So I quite like the effect. It's the ribbon here is actually from, believe it or not, a Christmas cracker. I don't know if you get Christmas crackers in America. They're cylindrical, and two people, one will sit at either end and pull them, and you normally get a wee kind of joke in them, and you'll get a paper hat and a wee kind of novelty toy. You get them at the Christmas table when you're going to eat your turkey or whatever. They may well have a different name in America, because I find it hard to believe that they only exist in Britain. But these ribbons were actually on Christmas crackers, and I thought they're really quite good. I could make a use of them. So I've got hundreds of these wee orange ribbons that I'm looking for things to attach to. Right, so there you go, that's that story. Wee bits of ephemera. Now this is a Charles Rennie MacIntosh woman. You can see yourself, he's, in terms of his art, he's really quite primitive. Having said that, he's very, very keen on symmetry. And you'll find if you look at any of his kind of architecture work, everything is laid out beautifully, absolutely beautifully. But when it came to painting women, maybe not so great. Stick to your other job, please, if you don't mind, Charles Rennie. Right, anyway, back to the book. I've got cheek to talk, by the way. I can't even draw a stick man. Wee bit of washi tape. Another Mucha image here framed up, and another wee die cut from the same picture that came from, doily. This is Rennie MacIntosh, this, and you'll see there what I mean by the kind of symmetry aspect of his work. I mean, his flowers, and he's known for the Glasgow rose. You may well have seen his work, because there's a lot of jewellery made with Charles Rennie MacIntosh designs. Mucha lady again. And got another book page here. I die cut a little heart, keyhole and key here, just to stuck to the bottom in gold for a wee bit. I love a wee bit of bling in books, so it's just for a wee bit of additional sort of interest. Wee bit of washi tape here, and this is actually showing through here. It's K & Company paper again, but I stamped some Tim Holtz stamps here. And this, I have to confess, this is from a chocolate, but I really like the gold paper. I got some chocolates at Christmas, and I've recently been on a diet, lost better part of 4 stones in weight, and this is some of my Christmas chocolate that I just haven't finished yet. So every now and again I'll pass the box and I'll think, I'll maybe have one a day, and I held on to the wee wrappers and I die cut some of them, simply because I think that in terms of texture they're quite interesting, and again they're sort of gold and blingy and they're interesting. Right, so anyway, back to the book. ArtyMaze page. Here we've got another tuck spot, and I die cut, well never die cut, I cut out, fussy cut a boot from one of the digital images that I'd had on Etsy. Made this wee tag, try and get this up so you can see it, I'm not sure if it will show up. It's dry embossed, you'll see that on that side quite well, and I went over it with gilding wax because I like the bit of bling. Mucha image, layered up some laces. You've got a cotton lace at the bottom and just a kind of more sheer lace on top, and a little kind of coppery coloured button, and a wee die cut piece of paper there that matches in with the copper shades. It's the actual sort of gilding wax was a kind of copper shade as well. Little image. I know this is one of Sue Olson's because I really like Sue Olson's dresses. Wee book tag with a wee bit of lace on top, and a wee kind of Frenchy style postcard. So over the page, and we've got lace down this page, doily, more kind of Sagita style cut, but it's actually a different Sue Wilson die I used here. And this is another one of Charles Rennie MacIntosh's papers that I've added in just to, you know, the patterns. They obviously really enjoy the good pattern. A bit of stamping up here. Another ArtyMaze page. That's the Sagita die again. More pages for journaling. Another ArtyMaze page. Doily. And here I have used, and it's another Sue Wilson die. I think an awful lot of her dies are very, very kind of Art Nouveau in style. You know, they're all flowing images and flowers and whatever. And again, always very symmetrical. So I die cut this frame from this particular set, and then cut out one of the Mucha women and just layered it on top. Book page, good bit of coffee staining, and die cut with what's her name, Martha Stewart Punch. French book page. I think this is out of French dictionary or something. Yeah, there's a kangaroo. And this, we're getting to the centre here. This is another paper pack. I think it came from this one, Vintage Colours Romance. These are really, they're good quality because they're quite thick papers. So I've stamped on the inside here with, in the background, Tim Holtz die. This is So Susie Stamps. This one was Stampendous, and so is this one here. This is another Mucha tag that I've made, and I used this ribbon. It came from a Liz Errol pack that I got. It came in a wee paper bag. Liz Errol does toiletries in, I think she's in the Isle of Wight or something like that. They're not the cheapest, I have to say, and I thought I really liked the colour of the ribbon, so I cut out the ribbon to use, and it matched quite well with the peacock feathers background that I gave at the top here, and it's orange at the bottom. Stamped in blue using a stamp set I got recently, which coincidentally again looks very Art Nouveau in its origins. This is a tonic die, and I've cut round my lady here and outlined her in vintage photo. Hearts in a string at the middle of the signature. On this page we've got some vintage stamping, some more chocolate wrapper. I ate two. Well, it's over a period of time, I have to add. It's not as if I had two chocolates in the one day. Good God, I'm not that greedy. And if there was a day, I would have eaten the whole box. So Susie stamps, stamp here, and these are a variety of, I think they came from Viva Decor, that's it. Most of those came from Viva Decor. Right, so back to the book, and another Sue Olson die, French book page, Martha Stewart die, and some washi tape down the bottom, book page, wee doily. That's ArtyMaze's page, and some stamping up the top there. That's another one of the Mucha images with layered up on a book page and a frame again, with some hearts cut from the same picture to tone in. Sagita's die and a wee bit of washi there. Another ArtyMaze page. That's a book page from Pride and Prejudice. And here we've got another Mucha image layered up again on a bit of book page. That's the back of that Charles Rennie MacIntosh paper. Sue Olson die, doily, a little bit of lace here. That's ArtyMaze, and here I've used some Tim Holtz stamps, which again have kind of come through on this K & Company paper, but they look a bit kind of like ghost shadows. A wee bit stamping down the bottom here, and that's, now that, I think that's an X-cut punch I used on this one. Book page here, Charles Rennie MacIntosh, doily, that's that same X-cut punch. Another Mucha image with a little heart cut from the same picture and a little brass key on top. It might make it a wee bit difficult writing on it, so you maybe need to watch around about that. Layered up on a book page again, and we've got another tuck spot here in the form of a paper bag. Just got some ephemera, pretty lady done in the kind of shadow ethereal ones that I like. Oh, here comes another Charles Rennie MacIntosh woman. Not the most attractive of faces, but again you can see what I mean about his symmetry of his work here in terms of her background, and indeed even the image of the woman herself. You know, it's, her dress is exactly symmetrical, I think. And a wee postcard. I think I'll pin that down. That little bit of lace there is, oh, feeling a little bit of lace is getting in the way when I fold that over. We've got Sagita's die again. Another Mucha image, because he did a lot of advertising in his day. This one for Benedictine, and it's layered up on a bit of French book page on top of an actual normal English book page here. Another tuck spot here, and what we've got is obviously that's not real, 10 francs note, and another tag I made with a couple of Mucha images, a bit of stamping round about it, and a die cut from a Marianne die. This is a Sue Olson die that I cut out of a tag and layered with some napkin and a little piece of ephemera that's been tea stained. Die cut from a Marianne die here, which is a body forum. It's on that handmade paper again. Here you've got another one of those little bits you can open out to journal on. Another page using a Martha Stewart punch, French book page, and this is a little bit of lace down the back of another ArtyMaze page. On the back I have, it's been decoupaged again with a napkin, and I'm using this as a tuck spot. It's from a Graphic 45 paper pack, and we've got a pretty lady, another Sue Wilson tag die which has been decoupaged to a napkin, and another lady who's very much of the time, I would say. And that's so. I'm using as a closure, I'm just using a bit of sari silk ribbon. In terms of Etsy shops, the stuff's been provided by Digital Collage Clubs, the Digital Chick, Rainebeau, The House Across the Bay with Wild Abandon, Old Market, Dream Up Graphic, Sue Olson, ArtyMaze, Calico Collage and Tsunami Rose. The book itself is the folder, or the envelope, it makes the book 9 by 6 inches. There are 70 pages in total, of which 60 provide writing surfaces, and over and above that obviously you've got your variety of papers that are, you know, like doilies, and your smaller pages of, what do you call them, designer paper, which are shorter than a normal page. And you've got your tuck spot here by way of envelope. So that's us. If there's anything you feel I haven't covered, by all means give me a shout. You can let me know what you think of it. Hopefully the lady that's asked about it will be very pleased with it, and that'll be that. If there's anything else I can help you out with in terms of description, by all means give me a wee shout and I'll do what I can. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you get the chance, and I'll see you again the next time. Bye bye.